Every toy that ends up in a child's hands begins as nothing more than a sketch on a piece of paper or a rough idea in a designer's head. Turning that idea into a safe, durable, mass-produced product involves a surprising number of steps, machines, and specialists. Here's a look at the full journey a typical toy takes, from concept to store shelf. Step 1. Designing the toy. Before any plastic is melted or any paint is sprayed, a toy starts in the design studio. Designers and engineers work together to sketch out what the toy will look like, how it will move, if it has moving parts, what materials it will be made from, and how a child will actually play with it. This stage often involves computer-aided design, CAD software, which lets designers build a precise 3D digital model of the toy before a single physical part exists. Once the digital design is finalized, engineers create a prototype, a hand-built or 3D printed sample of the toy. This prototype gets tested extensively. Does it work the way it's supposed to? Is it durable enough to survive being dropped, chewed on, or thrown across a room by an enthusiastic 5-year-old? Safety testers also check for choking hazards, sharp edges, toxic materials, and anything else that could put a child at risk. Only after passing rounds of testing and revisions does a design move toward full production. Step 2. Building the molds. Most modern toys, especially plastic ones, are produced using a process called injection molding. Before this can happen, a steel or aluminum mold has to be built. And this is one of the most expensive and time-consuming parts of the entire toy-making process. A mold is essentially a hollow, precisely carved metal block shaped like the negative image of the toy. Toolmakers use computer-controlled machines to carve out every detail: the curves, the textures, the tiny grooves where two pieces will snap together. Because these molds have to withstand thousands or even millions of uses without warping or wearing down, they are usually machined from hardened steel and can take weeks or months to build. A single mold can cost tens of thousands of dollars, which is why toy companies only invest in high-quality molds for toys they expect to produce in large volumes. Step 3. Melting and molding the plastic. Once the mold is ready, it's time for the actual manufacturing. Plastic pellets, usually made from materials like ABS, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, or polypropylene, are fed into a large machine called an injection molding machine. Inside this machine, the pellets are heated until they melt into a thick, liquid plastic. This molten plastic is then injected under high pressure into the mold, filling every cavity and detail. After a short cooling period, the mold opens and the newly formed plastic piece, now solid again, is ejected. This entire cycle, from injection to ejection, can take anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes depending on the size and complexity of the part. A single machine can produce hundreds or thousands of identical toy parts per day, which is what makes mass production possible at an affordable price. For toys with multiple colors, manufacturers either use molds with separate chambers for each color or mold, each colored piece separately, and assemble them later. Some toys also incorporate other materials like metal springs, rubber, fabric, or electronic components, which have to be manufactured separately and added during assembly. Step 4. Adding color and detail. Not all color comes directly from the injection molding process. Many toys are painted, printed, or stickered after the base plastic piece is formed. Automated spray painting stations apply base coats and finishing details, while pad printing machines, which use a soft silicone pad to transfer ink, are often used to stamp on facial features, logos, or fine details that would be difficult to mold directly into the plastic. For toys with more elaborate decoration, like dolls with painted faces or vehicles with printed decals, this stage might involve a combination of automated machinery and skilled human workers who handle detailed touch-up work that machines can't quite replicate yet. Step 5. Assembly. Once all the individual components are made, plastic bodies, metal axles, fabric clothing, electronic chips, batteries, and so on, they head to the assembly line. Depending on the toy's complexity, assembly can be almost entirely automated or largely done by hand. Simple toys might be assembled by robotic arms that snap pieces together with precision and speed. More complex toys, especially those with fine details like dressing a doll or threading small parts together, often require human hands, since human dexterity is still unmatched for certain intricate tasks. Workers on the assembly line typically each handle one specific step, attaching wheels, snapping on heads, inserting batteries, before passing the toy down the line to the next station. Electronic toys go through an additional stage where circuit boards, speakers, lights, or motors are installed and then tested to make sure all the buttons, sounds, and movements work correctly. Step 6. Quality control. Before any toy leaves the factory, it goes through quality control checks. Inspectors, sometimes human, sometimes automated scanning systems, examine toys for defects like cracks, misaligned parts, paint smudges, or malfunctioning electronics. Toys are also often tested for durability by machines that repeatedly press buttons, spin wheels, or drop the toy from a height to simulate rough play. Safety regulations vary by country, but reputable manufacturers test for things like lead content in paint, choking hazards from small parts, flammability of materials, and the strength of any strings or cords. Toys that don't pass these checks are either reworked or discarded before they ever reach a store shelf. Step 7. Packaging. Once a toy passes inspection, it's ready for packaging. This stage is more complex than it might seem. Packaging has to protect the toy during shipping, display it attractively on store shelves, and often needs to include safety information, age recommendations, and assembly instructions. Automated machines usually handle the bulk of this work, folding cardboard boxes, sealing blister packs, and applying labels at high speed. For toys sold in specific regions, packaging might need to be printed in multiple languages or adjusted to meet local labeling laws. Step 8. Shipping and distribution. Finally, packaged toys are loaded into shipping containers and sent off to distribution centers around the world. From there, they're routed to warehouses, then to individual stores, or directly to online shoppers. Depending on where a toy is manufactured versus where it's sold, this final leg of the journey can take anywhere from a few days to several weeks. The bigger picture. What looks like a simple toy in a child's hands is actually the result of an intricate, carefully engineered process involving designers, engineers, machinists, factory workers, and quality inspectors. From a digital sketch to a steel mold, from molten plastic to a fully assembled and packaged product, every toy represents a small but impressive feat of modern manufacturing, one designed not just to entertain, but to do so safely and reliably, toy after toy after toy.